And oh, there it is. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And welcome to NDB Media's Dating and Relationships in 2024. I'm your host, Don Royer, and thank you for joining me. Today is November 16, 2024. Thanksgiving is still about 2 weeks away, and really excited spending time with the family. Yes, I'm doing the Michael Jackson theme tonight because it is freezing out here. And I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do. Everything that I have is out here in my office, in my garage, but I'm going to have to see what I'm going to do because it's getting cold. And now, a year older, it's getting even colder, and it's not all that fun. So I have long-term plans, got to see some things through, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some things fixed, but not there yet. Have to work on it. We'll see what happens. But thank you for joining me. Tonight, I pick up every night, once a week, I pick up a different topic to talk about. And we're going to get to that one shortly. I have a few announcements that I want to go over. And I want to go over to the website because it's easier for everyone to see it that way. It's ndbmedia.net, of course. I should have it down at the bottom of the screen, and I do not have it right now. I am terribly embarrassed. There it is. It's on the crawl thingy down there. So it's kind of cool. We'll head on over to the website, which is ndbmedia.net. And this is it. You can find out everything that's happening on the network tomorrow. As a matter of fact, tomorrow morning, they're not listed. Ooh, we're going to have to figure that out. But we do have a program that's going to be on tomorrow. Aisha and NorCal Girl are on. I think that's the Terrible Twosome. I should know this, but I don't at the moment. And forgive me. They're going to be going over a Japanese movie and Japanese culture. It's kind of cool. It's on every other Sunday right now at 7 a.m. Pacific time or 10 a.m. Eastern. So you can check it out. Tomorrow, Kiara Vega and Aaliyah Kalen from The Voice are going to be on at 1 p.m. Eastern or 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's tomorrow on this network. Kenneth Johnson, you know him, writer, creator of the miniseries, will be on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. He also worked on the Incredible Hulk back in the 1970s, 80s, I believe. And he also created and produced Alienation, which is really kind of neat. It's really good stuff. Hi, Gridiron Girl. Thank you for that. I appreciate the like. If you'd like to join, let me know. And you know what? Oh, whoa. Hey, let me get rid of that screen. Oh, sorry. I was going to have the personal stuff show up right now. Didn't want to do that. But I'm going to send you the link right now. If you're thinking of joining, you want to talk about some stuff. It can be about the topic I'm going to get to or just whatever it is. And thank goodness you weren't able to see my Facebook because I follow a lot of people and a lot of things. And there are, creators of video. And I've had to delete some of them because I didn't realize that they were not to my like or taste. And they were embarrassing when I would open up my Facebook page. I don't, it's not my thing. So I've had to delete some of them. So, my goodness, there she is. So I forget there's no A in her Facebook name. I hope she didn't get mad when I wasted 7 seconds of her life. I sent this video out as a meme. It says, send this to all your friends. And if they see it, you have successfully wasted 7 seconds of their lives. I was like, I'm in. I'm going to send it. So it's all good. But going back to what's going on NDB Media, also on the 19th, which will be on Monday, Jay Paul Singer from The Voice is also going to be on. And on the 19th, which is at 6 p.m., that's correct, Avery Conrad, Sarah. The 19th is Tuesday. I apologize. Okay. Yeah. Those are on Tuesday. Look at the calendar. You should just check it out. I was like, hey, wait a minute. What about Monday night? On Monday Night America will be on again. And we talked about the Men in Black last week. This Monday, we're going to be talking about California paranormal stuff. There's quite a bit of stuff out there. So we're going to be going over that. On the 21st, Michael Alexanderson, also from The Voice. And later on that day, Evan Page. So it's a double header for Talented Universe. Great job. On the 25th, Tyler Herwig, a singer-songwriter, will be on. Elizabeth Saunders, Donna from the program From, will be on the 26th. And the 26th is Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And the Writers Panel from the ARC program, the sci-fi hit, The Ark, created by Dean Devlin and Jonathan Glassner. Many of the writers of the 12 episodes will be on. It's the Writers Panel. That's on December 4th. It is a Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. A lot of stuff going on the network. As you know, we announced the Jet Setter. It's going to debut on the 18th of December, so you can always check that out. You can check our calendar here on ndbmedia.net. Sorry about that. I should have muted, but I didn't have a chance. Let me try that again. And there it is. You can see everything that's on the network upcoming, which is absolutely awesome. There's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, the month of November, December. We don't have anything for 2025 just yet because we're just through the year right now. Everything on the calendar, but there it is. The Troublesome Twosome. There it is. That's who they are. Of course, Monday Night America is scheduled through the end of the year. Sci-Fi Vision is also scheduled on Tuesdays. The Jet Setter debuts on the 18th, which is absolutely awesome. Sports Talk with the Guys, of course, is on every Saturday. And we're also reviewing Star Trek Lower Decks. So that's on the calendar. You can always head over there at any time. Check out everything that's going on. So quick roll call. Anyone want to say hello in the chat room? Oh, here we go. And sure enough, hi, Lethal Migraine. I enjoy being right. Who doesn't, I suppose? Just watch the Vancouver Canucks versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard is just awful. And I'm tired of people using his age as an excuse. Plenty of under-20s in the NHL playing good hockey. Bedard is the most overrated player of the last 30 years. Dude, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about, as you know, and they just parrot what they hear to want to be a part of it. It's like the younger brother syndrome, that you have the older brother that's real cool, smart, whatever, and the younger brother wants to be a part of it, and they just copy. And due to the dearth of quality journalists out there, everyone, including ourselves on Sports Talk with the Guys, we fill in the void. And you just find all these innaities and these stupid things. And yes, you are right, my AB plus brother. Hi, Gridiron Girl. So guess you didn't accept my invite. So I guess I will hold it against you. But it's all good. So it's 9:39 p.m. Thank you for that. You see the ticker at the bottom, ndbmedia.net. You can head on over to that. If you have any relationship advice that you want to share for the older folk, for the younger folk, that's what we're going to be looking into today. As you know, last week I was talking about care of oneself. The week before I was talking about the ads, or the apps, I should say. And I was thinking tonight on something maybe a little bit freeform, depending on who is in the chat room. So please let me know. Share some of the agony that you hear with me on a Saturday night at 9:40 p.m. instead of being out and about doing stuff. So I think I'm going to take a moment, and if I have the birthdays for everyone. Oh, here in Southern California, there was another earthquake within the last hour or so. So I'm going to head on over to usgs.gov and check it out. If you want to go to usgs.gov, this is it right there, usgs.gov. And you can look for latest earthquakes right above the search bar. And there it is. Oh, yeah, look at that one. There's two of them, actually. They're right over each other. Yep. I believe I know exactly where this is. The 15, the Ontario Freeway, and the Foothill. Oh, that's further north of me. This is the 210 freeway here. You can barely see it. And this is the 15. So there's a catch basin right there, and it's it's near Legacy Park. On this, you can actually see where the earthquake and whose home it was under. It's really crazy. Zoom to the no, I'm not going to zoom to the region, but it is cool. Wardman Bullock Road, right there, and Eaglewood Place. And then over here it's Henderson Drive, and again, this is Young's Canyon Road, just south of Young's Canyon Road. It is amazing how it homes in. So there was one. I think it was a 3.7. Let me see. Oh, 3.4 now. And then there was one early in the day, which was a 4.3, I believe, which they downgraded to a 3.5. Ah, interesting. It was much higher earlier in the day. But a little bit of activity out here. And you can see all the activity around the world on that. So kind of neat. So anyone want to share any stories? Oh, Lethal Migraine has another post. Let me see. Most athletes have a rough sophomore season, but you see improvement in their game. Bedard looks even worse than last year. Tonight, for example, only one shot, two turnovers, -2, and 0 for 8 on faceoffs. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. I'm going to be heading to a hockey game, hopefully, either late March or early April. I try to go once a year, but right now with my neck, with the compressing discs and the protruding, all that stuff, it's difficult to sit down for a while. And I'm hoping to be able to go to a hockey game in a little bit, but we'll see how it goes this year. LA Kings, we've seen the Chicago Blackhawks, Calgary Flames. Of course, I've seen the Edmonton Oilers, San Jose Sharks. I've got to make a list of all the teams that I've seen, which ones I haven't. But I've been to a few. Staples Center is not bad. They don't call it Staples Center. I think it's Crypto Arena. Yeah, but it's nice. I've sat in the very top, sat in the middle section, and I've sat in the lower part of the bowl. Well, okay. The middle section, I think, is the periphery on the sides. And then you have the lower board, because the Crypto Arena has the lower bowl, and then you have the billionaire row, which is in the middle, all the 3 levels of suites. And then you have the nosebleeds at the very top. I have not sat in the billionaires row because they don't go the entire stadium or the entire arena. I've been on the end, which is what I call the middle section. When I get the job, yes, I'll have to come to Seattle and go to, dude, I'm going to be going back up to Seattle. It's just I haven't been able to travel because of the issues with my neck at the moment. And yeah, I loved going to Seattle. It was less than a 2-hour plane trip, which is amusing to me because when you look at San Francisco, it's an hour away. But I understand the plane gets up to speed, and once it gets up there, then it's got to come in for a landing, so it slows down. When you go to Seattle, you get up there and you're just hauling all the way. So even though it's 3 times the distance, maybe even 4 times the distance from here to San Francisco, it still gets there in under 2 hours, which is really, really neat. That is so cool. So, yeah, I'm looking to be able to go around. As a matter of fact, I've been invited to the East Coast. I am looking to go there tentatively in May, and I want to go there before it's hot. So, New Jersey area. I'm looking forward to it. But it all depends on what's going on with the neck right here. So, but I am tentatively making plans to go, and I'm looking forward to it. So, what question shall we ask the computer today? There are people that do programs like this. I think the kid's name was Onaya-san or Onision or something, and he made it famous. Then they put him on payroll, and his program went to. But he would ask an internet question. for each of his programs, and some of them were really good. But when he went corporate, then the program went downhill. But when he was doing it was really good. So the question is, it's asking a stupid question. Okay, so let me clear out all the stuff I have in the background. How do I ask someone out on a date? There it is. I do that. Reddit comes up, first one. How do you ask someone out while, let's see what it says here, while making it easy for them to say no if they're not interested? I want that answer. Right here on Reddit, it says, ask them for a specific date activity like, are you free Saturday? I was thinking of checking out the German Christmas Fest and thought you might like to go with me. Then, if they aren't interested, they can just say they're busy. If they're interested and are actually busy, the person will usually follow up with an alternative plan or ask for a rain check. Ooh, that is cool. Another one, Whales Are Us, says, be very casual about it. Say you had plans to go somewhere and ask if they'd like to come, like asking a friend. If you get a no, just say no problem and continue talking. When it gets uncomfortable is when the other person senses your embarrassment and feels like they hurt your feelings. Your confidence and comfort with the situation are key to making the other person feel safe to say yes or no. Ooh. Offer them your number instead of asking for theirs. It puts them at ease and not having to directly say no if they don't want to contact you. If they're interested, they'll text/call you. If not, they won't. But at least you didn't have to confront you on it. Has worked for me on several occasions. That's Eastwood 86 that wrote that one. What are the origins of a rain check? What are the origins of a rain check? Oh, this term comes from baseball, where in the 1880s it became the practice to offer paying spectators a rain check, entitling them to future admission for a game that was postponed or ended early owing to bad weather. There you go. That's kind of neat. Forgive me a moment. I hope I'm not coming down with a cough. That's going to be a bummer. I hope it doesn't. So, NJ Jutsu says, I ask this question because I understand that sometimes people don't want to say no to others because they don't want to be impolite or don't want to hurt someone feeling, or they could also be afraid. I understand that when you set up plans for a date and nothing falls through, that means the other person is not interested. Very good. The more you know. Yes. But the problem is with those people who almost feels guilt on the idea of hurting someone feeling or other reason, it becomes a problem because these type of people will see you again and show interest and even try to initiate another date or give you a valid reason of why the other one didn't pan out. And before you know it, something that could have simply been resolved with a simple no is now a complicated mess with a potentially even uglier outcome. Oh my God, yes, I agree. Not only do I not mind rejection, I'd rather get flat out rejected than go down that rabbit hole and think this is true for most people, find themselves playing the role of the seeker. Ooh, that was really good. I like that. So there you go. Two ideas on that. How do I ask someone out for a date? This is another one on Google. Oh, some cute ways to ask someone out via text might include, would you like to try this new restaurant with me? That's the first one. Second one is, I've missed seeing you. Do you want to get together for dinner? I've enjoyed talking to you online and I'd really like to take you out. What might work for you? Oh, and that's dated to September 28, 2023. That's cool. Oh, on WikiHow, how to ask someone out in person or over text. Wow. Whether you've just spotted a cutie across the room or you've had a crush on a friend for a while, asking them out on a date is the best way to make your intentions clear. While the possibility of rejection can be scary, regretting not asking someone out is even worse. Keep reading for expert back tips for working up the courage to ask someone out while maintaining your confidence the entire time. Things you should know. Shouldn't you say, I can't get my pants off? Come over and help? Ooh, that's funny. I like that one. I don't have the nerve to try that one. But the funny thing is, folks, and everyone in the audience, I've talked about this where it's kind of strange for me to admit, but I've been hit on more than I've tried. And in the last 5 to 7 years, it's something that I have difficulty dealing with because I've told you my psyche is damaged. It just is. I acknowledge it's damaged, but I still can't work beyond it. It's I was hassled growing up, not necessarily in middle school, but even in high school. You all know I was studying to be a priest for a short while, for 4 years of high school, and I was ridden incessantly for my appearance. And it was, and even after high school, I was always ridden. So it never went away. That's why I became the person that I became. I grew tired of hearing people ridicule me. So I became almost like an aggressor. I became quicker in my speech, my thought process, where I would control situations through humor and fear. I was quicker than most, and I would control my universe. Better to be feared than loved. And I did. For most of my adult life, I have controlled my universe. And it is a defense mechanism that I've learned to deal with. People find me funny. Deep down, I don't think I am. I just believe that I am quicker than they are. And sometimes you have to slice one from the herd to establish your dominance where you are. I had to do that at my job regularly. Someone would come up, hey, sorry, you're the sacrificial lamb. And what other people did to me, I did to them. Go figure. I just never want to be told again I had a crush on you in high school. Oh my God. Why do I care? You should have said something then. Not now. I've had that a few times as well. Or I I had it often by coworkers that were younger and significantly younger when I was married. I appreciate that they went on to tell me, but it was difficult. And I apologize. The orange tabby is back here. She's moving a few things around, but I only have one cat in the garage with me right now, so she's trying to find her space at the moment. But when I was driving for Uber, I drove regularly from about 2014 to 2022, and it was very difficult at first. I thought most of the time people were joking, but I did have a few passengers. Now, I am male, heterosexual, and I was hit on by male and female. And I was working though. I was doing a job, so I never really said anything to it. Um, at first, it, believe it or not, kind of creeped me out because you're working. So I've learned it's like, dude, I'm working, and dudette, I'm working. So it's nothing personal. It's just I'm doing what I'm supposed to. That is why when I see someone who's working, I've been in that spot and I don't want to ask them out because they're working. They want to get their job done. They want to get their shift done. They want to go home, do whatever it is. Um, I joked about it. I didn't know the vibe that I was, you know, putting out there, but sometimes it did get uncomfortable. And since I've had that experience, I bite my lip when it comes to asking someone out. if they're at their job site or whatever, I do my best. I might leave a card from time to time, but I think that's a tad pretentious. Sometimes I'll leave a handwritten note with the card, but I always thought of coming up with a simple card that just had me and my information. That would be it. But then I don't know. Is that reeking of desperation? I did that for years. It never got me anywhere. Maybe I was a bad tipper. I don't know. I I just think it's, at least for me, it's rather tacky to actually do that when someone is working. So I try to avoid that. But let's see what this thing says. How to ask someone out in person or over text. Plan an activity ahead of time that aligns with your potential date's interest. You might ask them to a concert, a museum, or a sporting event. Strike up a conversation and make small talk by asking them how they are and what they've been up to lately. Be as specific as possible and mention a date and time while asking them out. Like, hey, would you be down to go to the new coffee shop on campus? I'm free Saturday afternoon. Okay, so this is very young. What is the definition of small talk, though? I've always wondered what that is. Are you talking about someone that's chatting, waiting for a bus, a train, or an Uber? I think that's small talk. But please correct me if I'm wrong. I hate small talk. Please clarify. Says, if the person says no, let them know that there are no hard feelings and move on to someone else. I say, oh, thanks for turning me down. Everything's cool. Is that what you're supposed to do? Really? Asking out someone you already know. Strike up a conversation. Starting a casual conversation first will help you ease your way into asking the question and reduce some of the nervousness you might feel. I mentioned that I went to Alaska in April of 2022. The trip changed my life. It did, for the better. When I was in Alaska, basically 20 some 100 miles, 2,000 and some 2,300, 2,400 miles away. It's only one time zone different, but it was 5 hours. And I went alone. My youngest was going to go with me, and the last minute she just didn't want to go. Okay, fine. When I went up there, I was in a new frontier, and I had a former coworker tell me about stuff. She talked about how when she goes traveling and stuff, and she's not in a committed relationship, she mentioned a few websites to me. I was like, they exist? It's like, oh yeah, they exist. And she talked about how she would find someone wherever she was going. She would register on the site, or she was already registered, but she would, I guess you were able to put a time frame that you're going to be there from this time to this time, which I'm like, wow, that's incredible. I know all of you are like, yeah, dude, they exist, and that's normal. Like, I didn't know. I signed up for it, but then you had to pay for it. So, like we talked about in other episodes, if you don't have skin in the game, you ain't interested. So, I guess I wasn't. But when I went up to Alaska, I did sign up for one of the sites, and I did actually receive messages from people. And wow, I didn't realize it was that effective. But when I was up there, it was completely different. I knew I was going to be up there for about 8 to 9 days. It's a lot of time. And I wanted to travel everywhere. I wanted to see everything that I could. You all know I slipped and fell, and I rolled my ankles, so I couldn't do anything for 2 days, 2 solid days. But funny enough, I rested those 2 days. I rested I hadn't had in forever. Excuse me. I was ready to go by the third day. So, but I did injure my heel, so much so that it has not healed. And it does still bother me. So I have that memory, but I'm like, it's all right. That's Alaska, baby. I feel ya. I literally do. So when I went up there was a confidence I never had in my life. Maybe it's because I knew I was only going to be there for a while, but I did. I asked people out. I had a level of confidence that I didn't know. And I would just, like a juvenile, nervously ask my way through it, but I would ask them, hey, I'm here for a short while. I appreciate, I forget exactly what I said, but I was like, hey, I appreciate the conversation. It's a lot of fun. Would you like to, would you like to meet up? And I got a quasi commitment from one, but I didn't get a good feeling, so I didn't pursue it. And the other four, yes, I asked for five actually, and they told me no, which was cool. It was the best thing to be told no. And at the time, I was like, the first time I was told no, it's like that situation that we read a little while ago. It got uncomfortable, and that was all on me because I didn't know any better. So I went ahead and just tried again and again. And unfortunately, the one that said the quasi yes, they were working. So they had no choice. They had no place to go. That's why it sucks, and they're being nice, they're being friendly. And that's the problem. Guys are stupid. So, we're stupid. We just really are. Hi, Sammy. How you doing? Hello. About what you said earlier. If you wait for women to approach you, then you're just waiting to be lucky. You should be approaching women 20 times for every time they approach you. Yes, you have to go out there. I am not waiting right now only because I I just haven't gone out. For me, it's just trying to resolve things here at home and doing stuff. But I agree with you, and I appreciate that, Sammy, that you have to go out. It genuinely is a numbers game. When they say there's plenty of fish in the sea, I think they're talking about the opportunities. And I didn't believe that, especially when you have your first crush or you have your first girlfriend, that there's plenty of fish in the sea. It's like, no, it's not. You found the perfect one. Yeah. Yeah. So when I was up there in Alaska, I did ask out. I didn't ask out every day because I was so enthralled. And folks, pictures don't do it justice. You cannot smell the fresh air. You cannot feel the ice, the cool breeze. I saw eagles soaring within 50 feet of me, just soaring on the wind currents. And then I saw like vultures or something else, and I'm thinking, hey, wait a minute. Don't those things follow bears? Uh-oh. I've seen this movie before. Time for me to go. The minorities always go first. So I had that confidence for about 7 or 8 months. And I knew I had it. It felt good. And I was asking people, even when I got back. But I knew that I had that confidence that I was being asked out more. I used to like going to the Applebee's, which was in my neighborhood right here. One of the young ladies that works there, she's so cool. She's absolutely awesome. She's real. I'm not going to embarrass her and put her name out here right now because it's just not right. But she's really nice. And she vultures fight dead things. Well, I think there was a bear around, but I don't know if it was a vulture or a hawk or a crow or something, but they were circling overhead. Usually vultures do that. And I was up on a hillside, and I just, wait a minute, if they're over there, uh-oh, that thing's coming up the hill. I got to go. and I left. So I would go there, and I started to pay attention now. It's, if people are paying attention to me. And I went out to okay, let me back up a bit. I went out to breakfast with a classmate of mine on Friday. I try to do it like once every 2 weeks, sometimes it's every week. And Someone made eye contact with me and they freaking smiled. Folks, if someone makes eye contact with you and smile, dude, bonehead here didn't, didn't think of it. She was nice, but you see, she seemed a lot younger. I think she was maybe in her 30s or 40s, and uh, you know, I don't know. And I thought, was she the most attractive individual? Probably not. I thought she was cute. She had a plain appearance about herself. She went out to breakfast with someone also, which I thought was cool. And I was not paying attention because I was in conversation with my classmate and we weren't being overly loud. Don't you hate those people that are in restaurants or anywhere and you just have to hear their conversation? It's like, dude, I get it. Your winky's this big, but you're loud. I get it. Shut up. Oh, I find them annoying. And I asked for a glass of water twice. It came in the second time and I was drinking and coffee, and the waiter was real cool. He's really cool. I get the impression he doesn't get to mess around with the customers as much, but he feels confident to do it with us. And it's really cool. I appreciate that relationship. And then my buddy got up to pay for the ticket and I stood up and I just looked over and to the booth it was one empty and then over. And she looked up and smiled. She had been there for at least 15 minutes, but I never looked over because I don't like to do that. If whether it's a classmate, friend, whatever, I try to give the attention to, or I'm not looking around the room to see what's going on. Sammy says, you also talked about rejection. It's really hard. Oh my God, yes, it is. And it still is very hard for me. A girl said yes to my brother, then dumped him later because he didn't make enough money. He was depressed for a year. My sisters and I told him never to go after women anymore. It's better to be lonely than mentally destroyed. Do you think you could handle that situation? You mean being told no? I've been told no my entire life. I've been told as early as the 7th grade. I think I told someone no. I talked about, I think the first real girlfriend I had was in the 7th grade. I wasn't her boyfriend, but she was my girlfriend. I didn't know where that came from. Her name was Michelle, and I'm so far detached I can get away with saying her name. And I was like, ew, I was in the 7th grade. I kind of broke it off with her. Idiot. I was an idiot. But I've been told no, and it's left me crushed. So, everyone takes everything differently. And I don't know to the extent that your brother was invested. Let me give you a tiny concept of what I mean by invested. As you know, I've been a tax preparer for many years. And even though I don't speak to very many clients anymore, because my daughter's doing the business and I have other preparers and, do the stuff, I really don't talk to them as much. When the clients used to tell me that they were divorced, and I'd ask them how many years, and they would say, umpteen years. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, why? I'm happy to get out. That's not what I meant. I'm sorry because of the amount of time that you were invested in. All the time that both of you gave to each other, and now it's gone. I understand you're happier now, and it's good. I just look back and I am mourning the aspect of the time, the investment, I suppose. I think it's sad. But to answer your question, could I? I have. I have handled it, and I try to move on as best I can. I've been told no. That's not stopping me. I'm just at a time where I'm not going out a great deal right now because NDB Media is exploding. There are so many new programs coming on. There's so many things that we do, and it's really one of the only things I can do right now anyway. For about an hour or two a day, I can spend time with my compatriots online. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and got to give props to Michael. Sorry, there's fireworks going off. I've jumped a bit. It could be the local high school team or one of the colleges. The game may have just ended. So, um, blackbirds in Ghana are much cooler than the U.S. Instead of being solid black, they have white necks and look like they're wearing a white collar. Oh, cackling priests, maybe? Women have damaged me so much, there's nothing they can do anymore to upset me. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting close. Specifically, to be told yes, go out with you, then no after a few months. That is a lot harder than being told no after asking someone out. Oh my God, yes, Sammy. To be led on. See, I've learned, Sammy, that women don't know how to handle the situation as much as men don't. They don't know how to answer no because they want to be nice. They don't want to be mean. They don't want to crush someone, but by their actions they're actually crushing someone. For your brother, once they say yes and after you set something up, the answer is no or they get blown off, ghosted, whatever, and then you set something up again and then again, yeah, you're done. You've got to know when to pull the ripcord. That's the one thing that I've learned. If I'm told no, no means no. And then I'm told after, I was actually told by someone just after I got married, she goes, "Why didn't you pursue?" What? Why didn't I pursue? She goes, "Yeah, you asked me out once. You said no." "Yeah, but you were supposed to ask again." Oh my God. I look, as an older individual, that irritates me. I those are games. Now I understand the whole concept of the chase and the pursuit and all that. But no means no. I don't know if it meant it back then in the late 80s, early 90s. I was married in 93. Almost said 92. I met her in 92. We married in 93. Yeah, the game playing stinks. Now, there's a way to say no and still cleverly give off the hints. Maybe I was blind to it, but when I was told no, I thought no meant no. So I didn't pursue it. And I was told 6 months after I married that they questioned why didn't I pursue? Like, now I'm not going to tell you, oh, I missed out, because I don't believe I did, but I'll never know. I don't have a time machine. So it did bug me for a while. That one really did. They had training at work that you can ask a girl out once, but if you ask twice after being rejected, that's grounds for harassment. That's interesting, Sammy. Okay. So yeah, the workplace is establishing certain rules. It's come down to that. I believe my workplace doesn't care for that, but there are no specific rules other than to say that if you have a family member, you cannot be in a position of authority, such as, excuse me, a supervisor that approves the work of your partner. Boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. But if they're married, I'll give you an example. There was a coworker who worked out in the field, and he asked a timekeeper out, and they started dating. They got married. Well, since she did the input for his group, she had to be moved out. That's the stuff I'm talking about. So there are certain rules at my workplace, but that's the extent of it. There was, I understand management, they're told don't mess around with, don't mess around with the help. But some of them never learned that. And I won't mention their names right now. Let's see. Lethal Migraine says, I'm what, 10 years younger than you, and I'm not willing to play games either. Ask again, forget that nonsense. I believe it is nonsense. I told you 2 years ago, I drove someone on a Friday. I was off that Friday, so I picked them up not too far from here in Pomona. Oh, and I told you, and I met them again. Did I tell you that? Oh my God, that was a little odd. I know where the individual lives, and picked her up, and I took her to it wasn't Olympic, but it was near. It wasn't Hollywood and Vine, but it was probably somewhere around Vine and Wilshire. It's kind of like where the business area is and stuff. And she was talking to me about I was going to go, didn't want to go, have to go meet a friend, supporting her and all this. And we really had a good time. I think I already told you guys about her. Her name was Samantha. And she was nice. She was, like I said, when I was waiting on the street, I kind of casually looked over and I was like, oh, wow. Wow. Beautifully dressed. It was a Friday about midday, so she was going to an event. And I was like, okay, she's not going to talk to me. I can get the vibe, but I was wrong. The minute she jumped in the car, we had a great conversation. We hit it off. She was talking about applying for a job with my employer. As you know, my employer has over 110,000 employees in Southern California. And it's the largest employer there is. And she talked about getting a job there. And she had taken the test. And I told her, look, you need to do this, 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 and this, and this. Within a few days, and we exchanged business cards. Within a few days, she basically said she was interested in me, and she was interested for one reason and one reason only. I told you I didn't know what to do. I was like, well, don't you want to go out and talk first? She goes, oh, no, we can talk while we're speaking a physical language. I mean, straight out said that she wanted to have a sexual relationship with me. Wow. And it's when I had that confidence from Alaska. Yes, Lethal Migraine. Yes, that many. I was intimidated. She was rather attractive. She really was. And I thought that they were kind of messing with me. Because I've had that my entire life, and I was intimidated by that. So I forget what happened, but it's been over 2 years now. We basically just stood each other up for life. We weren't able to choose a date. Let's put it that way. But she made her intentions very clear on what she wanted. Wow. I just couldn't believe a woman like that. And yes, I'm speaking of the material, the physical. I didn't expect a woman like that would be interested in me. So fine. It ended after, well, nothing happened, but the communication ended about 2 months. My youngest and I were in the market, and we were leaving the back of the store would have dog food and stuff. We turned the corner, I'm coming up, and I'm like, down the aisle, here she comes. I think she was with someone. And I just kind of looked real quick, immediately recognized her, and we made a left turn down the back of the store. And I told my daughter, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But I kept it cool and everything. And I just kept on walking. And I don't think that she continued forward. I think she just did a beeline and left. We stayed in the store for about another 10 minutes, finishing up our shopping. And I casually looked around and checked the registers and stuff. And I didn't see the individual. But wow, that is a market that is maybe 10 blocks from me. And it's further to where she's at to that market. So I was like, oh, so that one was a bit strange. But that's the only time we ever made contact after the fact. Um, that's a blown opportunity on my part, I suppose. So because I wanted to meet the individual, I wanted to speak to the individual, I wanted to spend time with the individual, and they wanted a different sort of relationship, which I wasn't ready for. So, guys, yes, I've had that situation where what every 17-year-old wants. Cut to the chase. There it is. Wow. And I wanted to speak to her first. Can you imagine that? The only way you're going to get confidence is to build a track record of success. You should at least get at least 3 romantic relationships or short-term flings, 5 if you can. Without that, your insecurities will always be in control. Yeah. Yeah. Sammy, it is a numbers game. And there it is. That's the thing. And I agree with you. I believe I've had more opportunities when I drove for Uber, believe it or not. Like I said, I mentioned this one young lady, and then there were others. You'd be surprised what people tell you, and you'd be surprised what they ask for. Wow. Sometimes you're having a great conversation with someone and they're going through a hard time. They will actually ask you for a hug. And it's a little awkward because they're in the back seat and you're in the front, but they'll reach over. I have been kissed on the cheek numerous times. I think it's a bit strange, but it's a little bit of gratitude, I think, or I don't know, because we had a great conversation. I do my best to have a conversation when they're in the car, but I'm out of practice. Haven't done that for 2 years, so I can't tell you. So, um, I kind of miss driving, but what are you going to do, right? Um, I hope to get back to that in the near future, but we'll see. I'm starting to go back out again to restaurants, and I'm starting to pay attention. And when I found someone interested, especially of the fairer sex, the opposite sex, if you catch them making eye contact once, everyone make eye contact. But if you do it a second time, well, it's a little less than accidental. And if there's a third time, it's like, dude, pay attention. What's going on? What's the target? Is it a target rich environment or not? And this is one thing that I would advise to the men: go out and ask. We still live in a society that, for the most part, women will not ask first. Younger ones, as evidenced by that one story I told you and a few other bits of experience, they will be a bit what we call more aggressive, or they see something and they're going to go for it. God bless them. I wish I had that nerve. I come from a culture, the Latin culture, where the man is the one that has to make the move, and the women will die, wither on the vine, waiting for that to happen, because they will not. They'll do their best to let you know, and you've got to pay attention. One thing that I do when I go back to that situation in the restaurant, or I love going to events where there are sporting events and they're on the big screen TV or whatever, and they can get jammed. That's actually a good time. Pay attention. That's asking a lot. Well, I read a long time ago that if they're making eye contact, it's because they're probably observing you already and they're waiting for you to come over. And there's this one thing that I learned that it works. And the times that I've asked out, and I've gotten a yes or received a yes is because of this one little trick. You have to have a watch, and it works best. And you have to have a good angle on the person. If they're paying attention to you and they're interested, they will mirror your moves. And what do I mean? You have to have a good sight, and you go to your watch like you're thinking of something. And if they immediately go to their watch, they're thinking, what time is it? What's going on? They want to know what time it is because you're looking at the time. And each time they did that, that was a yes after the second or third eye contact. I believe it's called mirroring, and there's a lot more to it, but I found that one to work. I haven't had a chance to do it in a while, but that is a tell for me. 3 times I've tried, 3 times it's worked. Where I've had a chance to speak to the young lady, have a conversation, and then sometimes it doesn't go anywhere from there. But to start having a conversation with someone, Sammy, you're 100% right. You have to go out there and you have to ask. That I have found works. It could be a watch, it could be your phone, it could be something, but you do something that indicates purpose, time, an event, stuff like that. That works. If they're thinking about you, they want to know why you're looking at your watch. The first thing they'll do is they'll go to theirs. So fewer people have watches now, so I don't know. But, we'll see. Oh, okay. I just got a text message from someone watching the program. I thank you for sending me the message. No, why would I be mad? So it's all good. So thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time to send me that message. So it's cool. So we were talking about method number 1. Yeah, look, I'm not feeling my best too, and I'm a little embarrassed because I was going to shave earlier tonight, but it was very cold, and I quite frankly fell asleep. But I was going to do that, especially for the program tonight. It's getting to the point where I've got to get rid of this. And I've been told that I look much younger when I have the beard. Look, if I have my beard, I'm not asking anyone out. I'm not. I don't feel I'm at my best. So whenever I want to go out or I want to ask someone, I shave. That's one thing. I kind of wanted to do it tonight, but I didn't. Like I said, I just wasn't feeling it. That was my fault. But it says right here, send a friendly text saying, hey, how's it going? If you're doing the asking in person, approach the person and say hello. Yes. And it's difficult, folks. It really is. But look, Sammy said that at work they're training people on two times you're out. Guys and girls, you're going to be alone unless you ask. You have to ask. You have to. You're going to be told no. And once you can get past that, you're going to be okay. It's like riding a bike and all the other metaphors you want to put with it. You got to get on the bike. If you're not willing to do it, I get it. I knew this kid I met at a youth group some 20 years ago. Oh my God. Really good looking kid, very smart kid, a lot of fun to be around. He was into Star Wars, Star Trek. So we had these likes, and he was just a good person. But he was frightened beyond the pale to speak to girls. And I think to this day, he's still a single. He's a good person, good guy. Girls chase him. And I would just sit back there and like, damn. Let's see. I was I think we were 10 years apart. But now, sadly, that relationship between he and I ended because of political stuff. Can you imagine that? Someone disconnected because you had a different political belief. Wow. I miss him. He was a good guy. We'd go to baseball games together. We'd do a whole bunch of things, and we had common likes, but done. Lethal Migraine says, I own 5 watches. I never wear a watch. I have quite a few collectible watches myself, but I'm always wearing the iWatch now because convenience. But I have ditched it from time to time, but then they're collectible watches. It's like a Star Wars watch or a Star Trek watch. I do have one that my sisters just gave me this year. It is a Raiders watch. It's real nice. I forget the brand name, but it really is. It really is a nice watch, and I've worn it a few times. It's metal, silver. It's really nice, but I just don't wear it because I kind of miss having the digital watch. But if I am going to go out, I do have that watch with me. Maybe not on my wrist, but I have it ready to go. So if I'm going to go in somewhere, I'll ditch this one, leave in the car, and then I'll put that one on. And isn't that crazy? I have no problem speaking to girls. However, I do have a problem speaking to girls I'm interested in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. I get it. I think the majority of men don't approach women. It's too hard. They meet at work, through friends, family, church. It may be too hard to try to develop the cold approach when we're older. Maybe the best way is to make friends with women in clubs, churches, etc. With so many text lines, didn't any of them show you interest? Yes. Yes, they did. Older ones, younger ones. But yes, they did. And they even actually they asked me out. But it's strange because they were clients. And it's I know everything about them financially, and I think it's almost rude taking advantage of that, knowing everything about them, because when a client comes to you, they're revealing their personal life to you, their most confidential stuff. And like I tell my daughter, and I've told every preparer, dude, they're going to tell you everything. You can't violate that. You have to keep it to yourself. Because once you violate that, even once, you're done. It's over. So why didn't that lead to anything? Professional ethics. I have been told that I'm very flirty. I try not to be, but I know I was being visited, so I try to make people feel at home, or I try to make them feel comfortable. By flirting? No, 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 not by flirting, but I try to make people laugh. And you say stupid stuff. Sometimes it comes out a bit, flirty, and you tell stories. So I've been told that I have been told that I'm flirty. And I try not to be. Sometimes I really don't know I'm doing it. Sometimes I do. And it's kind of cool. If they're willing to play along, I will as well. But I'm there to do a job. And I want to do the best service that I can. Um, I think it's a violation of trust to cross that line. I did ask a client out, flat out asked her out, and she told me no. I was like, okay, great. Not only is it no, but I lost the client. I did not. She returns. She's returned at least 4 years still. So that one went well. But there was another time which I thought, and I was wrong, and I lost the client. Don't get involved. I should have learned. This is America. Ethics are optional. A lot of the stuff that I'm sharing with you is prior to me doing this program. The purpose of this program is twofold or threefold. I don't know if you can fold it 3 times, but it's to create a place to have a conversation. That's number one. When I was on Blog Talk Radio years ago, there were these programs that were on Friday night and Saturday night that were dealing with relationships, and they were happening, man. I know I just lost the audience with that. But people were calling in, sharing, and talking about everything that was going on. And I kind of would like to have that. And I appreciate all of you commenting because I get different people all the time. And I know the numbers. I see people are watching. So you're getting the real me. And I think that is what works best. Do I find it embarrassing? Oh, for the love of God, yes. I have mentioned things on air that I'm like, why did you do that? But it's done. I want you to know where I'm coming from. I feel bad. A few weeks ago, someone asked me about the types of people that I'm interested in, and I mentioned it. They haven't returned. I was like, oops. I want to be upfront. I want to just go ahead and be that way. I don't want someone to play games with me. I don't want to play games with them. So I try to be as honest as upfront as I can. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want to do any harm. So as far as on the professional level, what happened with all of them, I don't want to break that. There was someone that I really, 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 really was interested in. And she was interested in me. And I demurred. Because I thought I was breaking that line. That's then. This is now. That's why I'm doing this program. A safe place, an honest place, and a place that we can all grow by having that conversation. Because I remember listening to those programs and people were brutally honest and people were like, yeah, you're right, or I didn't know that. And maybe that's what this is going to be as well. But it's in the early stages and I don't know where it's going to go. Honestly, I think that's the one good thing Trump has introduced to decent society. People are sick and tired of being lied to by everyone. The more honest you are, the more embraced you are. I can be quite an a-hole, yet people go to bat for me because I am who I am. I'm not afraid to be honest. Dude, you know where you stand with me. There are people, and you know it, that were on this program that disliked you. You know that. They're gone. Everyone else, Lethal Migraine, everyone reads your comments. They do. They know who you are. And it is good, man. They know. I am so looking forward to Lethal Migraine that once I'm able to resolve the stuff that I'm resolving, everything should be taken care of by early next year. And I'm looking around May or June. Everything should be settled. All the medical stuff that I have dealing with, it all should be settled by then. So it should be. In Texas, that's one of them used to get on his nerves. There was the one in Georgia. Oh, he snapped on air with you. That was funny. Yeah, those two. That's funny. My boy in Texas. He still gets along with the big dog, so you know what? It's all right. I don't have animosity towards them. They just got tired of me, and I'm not for everyone. I get that. So I wish them the best. Merry Christmas. Enjoy everything. You know, you can't please everyone. And I look at why they're angry. uh, Okay. All right. What are you going to do? So, anyway, that dude thinks he knows everything. I have no problem telling people who think that they are sadly mistaken. That's funny. I wonder. I think we are talking about the same person. So, yeah, you know, we got along for so long, but and do you know what it was? As you all know, folks, I do retreat. I'm an introvert, and I need time away from people, and I fall into that. Everyone in my universe knows that I need to get away and I can't speak to people on the internet, the phone, whatever. This is the most that I've ever been on in 1 year where I've been on constantly and people could reach me. And yes, I get crap from people that, oh, well, whenever I call you, don't answer. Did you ever think I was busy? But again, whatever. When they're with me, I don't take calls because I'm with that person. Doesn't dawn on them, but yet they always throw it in my face that I don't take their call. I'm like, well, you could always leave a message, but they don't want to do that because they've deigned me as not answering them anyway. Yeah, whatever. So I withdraw, and I got away to a baseball game, lethal migraine, and I commented it was great to get away for a while. He snapped, said, "Oh my God, I've been reaching out to this guy. I thought he was my friend, and now they turned on me, blah, blah, blah." And what the dude? What am I going to do? That's who I am. I will withdraw. The idiot had seen me do it before, but it was this one time that he tried reaching out to me. I didn't answer because when I go into F everyone mode, I mean, it's not that way. It's just I withdraw. I I need to recharge the batteries, for lack of a better word. And I didn't answer for 2 days. I was off the internet. And that's how that one ended. I went to a baseball game with my daughter and a classmate, and I posted and I said, it was absolutely awesome to be able to get away. Not funny? One of my best skills is research. Don't pass off garbage as fact, is what anyone on my over needs to understand. Yep, I agree. I agree. So, continuing with this, it says, try to look your best when you ask somebody out. And that's the thing. This will not only give you the best chance of scoring a date, it would help you feel more confident, which will be reflected in your behavior. Ask them if they would like to go on a date. Be specific and direct so they understand what you're asking. Suggest an activity that you think they will be interested in based on what you think about the person, and mention a specific date and time too. If you can't think of anything, here are a few ideas. Want to go to coffee on Saturday? My treat. I wanted to see if you were free on Friday evening for dinner. I would change that and say, I have an opening on Friday. Are you available? Not free. Are you available for Friday evening for dinner? I'm heading to a party after work. Want to join me? Hey, I know you love ice cream. Why don't we check out that new ice cream shop tomorrow? Those are actually some good lines right there. You saw where I tweaked them, and that's it. I am like that senator in Pennsylvania. I don't dress up for anyone. Look my best, pay me, and I will consider it. That's funny. I like that. Let them know there are no hard feelings if they say no. See, I don't know how. This is alien to me. Let them know there are no hard feelings if they say no. This will help eliminate any awkwardness in the future, especially if you just asked out a close friend that you plan on continuing to see on a regular basis. More importantly, it will show the person that you're confident and mature enough to handle a little rejection. Say something like, And I'm not so certain I agree with this. No worries if you don't want to. I just think you're super cool and I'd love to continue getting to know you. Okay. Now that's actually good. I didn't know about that. I would change that up a little bit and say, you know what? We get along. Just wanted to, you know, have some more time to chat. Stuff like that. So actually, that's good. I'll have to think about that, but I think I would use that. I didn't know that you would say something like that. The other one is, or if you're busy this weekend or you can't make it, I understand. Just let me know if you want to get together sometime. See, that leaves it open in a way that you're not supposed to. It's either a yes or no, date and time. I have it understood, and I'm not sure because Sammy hasn't commented for a moment, or even okay, I'm not going to mention the person's name. If you ask someone out, the guy has to know exactly what's going to happen, right? Because I have frustrated people. I've been told after the fact, they said, do you know why I said no? Because you couldn't make a decision. I couldn't make a decision. I was trying to be as polite as possible and leaving it to the individual. They said yes. Like, what would you like to do? And I was available. And okay, well, not the Samantha one, others. I was ready to avail myself for almost anything. And I was told that no, I have to be decisive. I have to know where we're going, what I have to plan everything. Okay. Oops. I was being polite. I've learned that now. Set the parameters. If they don't want to be a part of it, fine. If they agree to it and then they use what the kids say today of ghosting you, fine. If they ghost you once, it they're real people. Things happen. I've learned that. I have gone out with a person that some would say ghosted me. It's something happened. I get that. But like in the case of what Sammy said earlier about the brother, where the answer was yes, and then over several months the answer was no. You ask one, maybe two more times. That's it. I know, don't play the game, right? But you don't know what's happening in the other person's life. And sometimes they don't want to tell you what's going on. So you do give them another opportunity or two. But if after the third, if they say yes the first time and then there's no the second time and then there's a failure on the third, dude, pull that ripcord, bail out, or dudette, bail out. When it comes to making decisions, I can struggle with that because I'm so easygoing. I'm open to doing just about anything. Lethal migraine. You and I have that in common. I don't want to, and I say this for planning purposes, I don't like to pin a girl down for a date. I know I'm being stupid. Someone told me a joke about that a while ago, so I'm sorry. Uh, Someone told me years ago because they were having trouble in their relationship. And I asked him, I said, dude, I mean, dude, has it been? Oh, no. And he was married. He said, no, when I can pin her down. I'm like, oh my God. That was, oof. So I apologize. That's why I said I don't want to, for planning purposes and stuff, I don't want to put the person in a corner. I don't want to pin them down. The cat just yawned. That was funny. Sorry. Her name is Cinnamon, and she's the Frady cat. We have three cats. They're all fixed, but this one is the toughest one. She was the one that we found on the street, and she has stayed here with us, but she's still risk averse. She has a hard time being with us, but she does stay in the garage at night, which is really cool. I'm really happy because she now knows that she's going to stay in the garage, and it's warmer in here as opposed to being outside. But anyway, so you don't want to put them in a corner, but you want to put the parameters of what you would like to do. When I was using the Facebook apps, I told them, you name it. Want to get coffee? Want to go have a meal? You want to go on a hike? You want to just, anything, just you name it. And they wouldn't name it. But I talked about the Facebook app. I don't think there's anything that's good on it. I really don't. I think it's a cheap OnlyFans for girls. Because as you know, girls will be swiped 20 times as opposed to guys. It's just there are more guys on those apps looking for girls, and the girls will get more yeses than men. It's just studies show it. The Facebook app just did not work out. So I'm through that one, and I'm done with the apps right now, even when I travel, but I haven't been traveling a little bit. So what can I tell you? So I try to be, I don't want to intimidate any more so than I already do. I don't want to make someone feel bad. And that's why I'm open to whatever they would like to do. But I've been told now that, no, dude, you have to plan. You have to have everything ready to go. Girls will lose interest in guys that don't have a plan. I get that. I've learned that now. So I asked them for something specific. On the Facebook app, I asked them, what would you like to do? Asking them what they wanted to do. That didn't work. Like, okay. So if you're going to invite someone out, make sure you let them know. Don't leave it open. Now, there's another method of asking someone you've just met. Make eye contact and smile at the person. Yep. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's exactly what she did to me on Friday. Oh, for the love of all that is holy. This shows the person that you're interested in them and gives them the opportunity to return the gesture, showing that they too are interested. If you don't have to stare them down, but try catching their gaze multiple times to send a flirty hint. But that was only once. If the person looks away or doesn't smile back, they might not be interested. However, it also might mean that they are too shy to reciprocate, so don't give up quite yet. Approach the person and introduce yourself. If you haven't already, be sure to act confident, even if you're shaking inside. First impressions are very important. And confidence is an attractive characteristic in both men and women. Yes! Someone who is confident, wow, that is unreal. I had that confidence. I wish I could recapture it. I'm going to go to Alaska again when I can travel. Right now, I can't travel long distances. Say something like, hi, I'm not going to say that name. Hi, I'm Roger. What's your name? Or, hey, my name's Roger. How's it going? So right here it says, hi, I'm Michael. What's your name? Or, hey, my name's Janet. How's it going? So strike up a casual conversation. This can range from complimenting the person to talking about what's going on in the room around you or asking them a question. If you can't think of a reason to talk to the person, try these things. Ask the person what time it is. Ask the person where they're from. Ask the person what they are reading. Compliment the person on what they're wearing. I have done that. I remember I went to Comic-Con in Ontario, and I complimented them on what they were wearing. Oh God, it was awesome. Homemade too. Lethal Migraine says a bubble lifetime membership is 180 or something close to that. I got that 2 or 3 years ago. So anytime I feel like trying to find someone, I just go back to the app. So that is what Andre said. If you don't have skin in the game, there it is. And I was told about Bumble. I don't know if that's the one my coworker told me about. I want a woman like Kamala Harris, a strong, intelligent, secure woman who likes to laugh. Ooh, like that. I do as well, but I think I said what my limitations are in. I am intimidated by a woman with a graduate degree. When they had a graduate degree and I was on the Facebook app, I just swiped in the other way. I'm intimidated by that. I am. So I get it. Ask the person out once the conversation has started. Let the person know that you're thinking they're interesting. Let them know that you think they're interesting and you would like to get to know them. Suggest meeting for coffee, lunch, dinner, etc. Don't ask them to go see a movie. I thought it was cool because I had the passes. Look, I don't mean to sound cheap, but I had 2 passes. I could get into any movie at any time, provided they were tickets for sale. I loved it. It was unlimited. It was awesome. I'm heading out, but I'd love to get to know you more. Maybe we could get lunch tomorrow. Avoid asking them out to a movie on the first date because it will not give you a chance to get to know one another. Oh, okay. Try to get the person you're asking out alone. Otherwise, the other person can be pressured to give a certain answer, especially around their friends. Yes. When asking out a stranger, make sure that they feel safe and comfortable at all times. Someone feels pressured or scared to say no, then their answer won't be genuine. Yes, and that's what I'm talking about when they're working. Be diplomatic if they say no. If the person says no, smile and say something like, well, it was worth a try. Nice to meet you anyway. Yeah, I think I said something like that one time. Thank you for, letting me know. Something like that. And then leave and let them be. Don't continue to bother the person once they've said no. And definitely don't continue trying to convince them to go out with you. This will make you appear desperate and make the other person feel uncomfortable. Even if you do get rejected, pat yourself on the back for putting yourself out there in the first place. Asking someone out isn't easy. And you faced your fears and worked up the courage to do it. Nice job. And I agree. I want to be pushed. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. Well, look, we went over these items on how to ask someone out. I want to thank everyone that joined me. Guys, I'm sorry. I am getting tired. Um, I don't think I took my medication tonight. So the neck is really getting to me right now. As you know, I have compressing discs. So they're going to be fixed soon, but I got to wait for them to be fixed. So just don't feel well at the moment. I am getting tired. So I'm going to call it. But I want to thank everyone that joined me here today. I appreciate everyone who shared what they did. Lethal Migraine, Sammy Hef, thank you. And Sonia Robles, who was also here earlier. So thank you for that. And I know other people were watching as well, but they just didn't comment. And I learned that 1% of the audience is subscribed. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So if you find us worthy, please like and subscribe. Give us, give us a little bit of love. We appreciate it. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the universe. Check it out. It's good. And I thank you for spending some time with me. I normally would go a bit longer, but I've been on a lot today. I'm just on the tired side mentally. So I want to thank everyone. Appreciate you guys. You mean a lot to me, especially coming to spend time with me. Who am I, man? I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate everything that you share. And we will be speaking again too. That seemed to be a YouTube. Lots of people watch stuff, but most aren't subscribers. Yep. Yeah. And that's going on the network here as well. So, guys, head on over to ndbmedia.net. If you have any suggestions, comments, fire them off in the chat room. You can contact us on the website. Other than that, I am going to cut this one a bit short. And but we will be here next week again. We'll be here on the holidays. We'll be here all the time. Lethal Migraine, Sonia, Sammy. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the other side.